Okay, I'm going to start. So today's talk is on love. So when we manifested as body forms, we were suddenly alienated, separated, and disengaged from our source. And since then, we have been longing to be whole again. We have been searching for that something that was missing, searching for our absence, searching for a way back home. We often wanted to engage with something or fall in love with someone so that we could feel less alienated and more fulfilled. In the world of duality, we buy into love's illusion, hook, line, and sinker, even though we know it is not going to last. We hear the same old stories replayed time and time again. He left me, she left me, my life is now over, the same dramas, blaming each other, look what you've done to me, it's all your fault, I'm in pieces, oh the pain, the heartbreak, etc. All illusion. This kind of heartbreaking love springs from body-based attachment. It is not a selfless, free, and unconditional love, but rather a needy and dependent love that comes from seeing oneself as a person. Here, the I who has fallen in love is the false ego, which has adopted the body-mind feelings as its identity. When that ego sees its partner's identity as a body too, then this love is unevolved and limited because it is ego-based. It is basically about one ego loving another ego. Ego-based love is full of wants and needs for itself. Its agenda is one of getting rather than giving. There are no separate individuals in reality. We are one. There are no persons or personal. You cannot love anyone else because there is no one else. If there is no other, then consider who is loving whom. You are loving yourself in your partner. Egoic love is about satisfying one's desires. Personal, self-centered love is not love. However, when the ego is absent, impersonal love is present. This kind of impersonal love is not about taking, but giving. Its nature is expansive and unconditional. Relationships and family life offer us a great deal of happiness and fulfillment, but in order to avoid falling into their trap and being completely sucked into the illusion, we need to be aware of what is going on. We are playing different roles in this dream of life. Establish this fact. Whatever relationship you may be in, whatever role you may be enacting as a lover, wife, husband, mother, father, or friend, etc., you are nonetheless always role-playing. You are actors playing different parts in the movie. Don't lose yourself in delusional thinking, believing yourself to be these characters in actuality. Don't be fooled by anything. This life is a dream. Emerge from the dream before it consumes you. Through your meditation practice, your perspective will change. And with that shift, your attachments will loosen naturally, with the result that your relationships will be richer and more fun-loving. All this time, when you were seeking to experience love from others, you did not realize that it is our universal true nature, the very nature of the self. And all this time, when you were shopping for lasting love and happiness and peace, and searching for wholeness in the world, you were really longing to rest and abide in your own source, intrinsic love, happiness, and peace. Resting in your source can be compared to the peace and contentment experienced with your true love or soul partner. You long to be held in your lover's arms and stay there. When you are in the same room with the love of your life, you often don't need to speak because the two are as if one, fulfilled and content, just being together in the silence. Real and lasting happiness cannot be found in this illusory world. It can only be found in you because you are the source of love, happiness, and peace. You are the source of this world. Your nature is peace and bliss. Sat Chitananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, is a classic Sanskrit term that attempts to describe our nature that is beyond words. Everything is within you. Peace, happiness, and love are inbuilt in you as your light-filled natural state. Your formless nature is perfect love, freedom, and bliss. These are not attributes, but the very essence of the self that you are. When you absorb the truths of who you are, it will stir, move, and touch your heart deeply, compelling you to find out more about your reality. This forceful magnetic pull is like that unforgettable feeling of meeting and drawing closer to your perfect partner. When you experience a taste of the peace and happiness that this practical knowledge brings, it opens your heart and quickens your longing for fulfillment. This drive that propels you forward feels like magical energy, a divine light beckoning you like a lover, drawing you closer and closer. In that field of reality, you are nourished from within. And as the light shines and illuminates the darkness, it removes all the ignorance. At this juncture, you will have little interest in anything else, except the desire to be with your beloved source and taste the sweetness of home and enjoy the bliss. Non-dual love means engaging with your beloved source, the very heart and core of your being. When the source is calling you back home, first of all, you need to remove the obstacles that are standing in the way and keeping you apart from the source. These obstacles come from the mind with all its accumulated concepts, emotions, memories, and attachments, etc. When the light of light shines, beckoning you forward with priceless, irresistible sweet offerings, you have no choice but to get rid of your former attachments, so that you can be truly at peace and home at last with the One. You feel compelled to know, compelled to touch that sacred ground of your being. The process of falling in love, engagement, and marriage is a helpful analogy for the spiritual journey. When you meet your dream partner in the dream world, you feel a strong and indescribable attraction at play, as if you see a shining light in the other who also sees that same light in you. When you are together, it feels so right that you have absolutely no doubt you want to be together forever. In his or her presence, you feel free and invincible. You can be who you are without any pretense. You can forget about all your issues and insecurities because you feel accepted and loved unconditionally. You can be as you are, he can be as he is, and when you are together, something magical happens, something mystical takes place, as if two merge into one. You are meant for each other and cannot wait to be engaged. Similarly, as you engage with the practice and ascend spiritually, you will become aware of an energetic force, a magnetic pull that is drawing you inwards. And as you dive deeper, you are attracted to a powerful, translucent, and shining light that mysteriously seems to be drawing closer and closer. This light is your beloved source, your real home and true love. You do not doubt that this is it. There is no going back. The love story with your selfless self is the greatest love of all. It is not Whitney Houston's call to love ourselves as mortal human beings, but a clarion call to love our eternal, essential nature. The highest, purest, and most authentic love is already within you as your source. With this recognition comes the absolute knowing that you have glimpsed the light of your original place, your source, that power, energy, and presence that is your beloved One. This divine love affair, mystical romance, or whatever you wish to call it, is the ultimate love affair. It is love loving itself. The center of your beingness is in love with love. An engagement means making a commitment to the love of your life and announcing your intentions either publicly or privately to marry. You are ready to seal the romance formally. How can you be sure that he or she is the one? From the overflowing happiness and fulfillment you experience. When you are in love, when you have tasted love, it is so sweet that you want to taste it again and again. Love has its own momentum, bringing you closer, taking you higher and higher. When love starts to flow, it continues as it will, spontaneously, paying absolutely no heed to reason. When you are sure that you have met the one, you will begin to make preparations for the big day, so that you can spend the rest of your life with your one and only. Now, here in the business of self-realization, preparation refers to the practice of dissolving all the illusory layers, using such tools as self-inquiry, mantra, meditation, etc. There can be no wedding and no final union with your beloved source until this happens. The merging process is marching towards oneness, but it cannot merge completely until the illusory you, the ego mind, has gone for good. The search for truth is challenging and does not come cheap. You need proper training to realize the self, and for this you have your very own personal trainer within you. Be serious, build your reality body. Keep at it with the same drive and determination that you apply at the gym to work out and tone your body to stay fit. Grow in strength. Keep climbing the reality ladder, progressing and moving closer and closer to yoga. Yoga means union. It is the end of separation. It is that eternal union where the thirsty seeker meets the sought after, and that thirst for truth is finally and forever quenched. Be driven by one desire only, an intense longing to find out who am I, what am I? Enter more profoundly into the process and concentrate wholeheartedly, inching closer and closer to reality, with the realization that you are unfathomable and ineffable. Be with you. Be with your presence that is ultimate. You have a one-way ticket to bliss. Follow your bliss. The divine romance is the supreme romance. Surrender yourself completely and unreservedly. We are all pioneers of this unmapped terrain because our journeys are unique. There are many paths, but only one destination or goal. So be brave, take a leap, and let go of your desires and attachments. When you disentangle yourself from all the illusions, your whole viewpoint, stance, and perspective will change. You are the absolute that has never been blemished or stained by anything, because you are immutable and therefore untouchable. Have complete faith in everything unfolding as it should. The divine romance is devotion to your beloved source through self-attentiveness. As you look after your beloved with a heart full of love, you cannot help but surrender. Experiences of sheer wonder, awe, and grace can bring you to your knees. You may find yourself spontaneously bowing and blessing yourself. You have glimpsed the ground of your being. Non-dual love leads to a merging and union with selfless self. And as you rediscover the blissful landscape of the heart, you begin to feel whole again because you have returned to the place of your origin. You are home at last. We have been comparing the process of self-realization to an enduring, lasting, loving romance, where a relationship leads to an engagement and eventually to marriage. Here, the ultimate romance experienced and described by many as the mystical journey takes place in the cave of your heart, your inner temple. You have found your home, your happy place, where sweet offerings entice you to check in more frequently for longer periods of self-love. Continuing to use the analogy of the lovers, the marriage or final union will not and cannot happen until the pseudo-self's mask has been completely removed. This caveat is set in stone. Only with total and absolute conviction of your ultimate reality can the final union occur. It is up to you to make this happen. How? By letting your beloved source gobble up, devour, and absorb every last remaining particle of ego. Rumi, the great 13th century Persian Sufi mystic and poet, writes beautifully about the mystical journey. Quote, "Love is such a blazing fire, which when it blazes up, burns away everything except the beloved." The love of the infinite, the source, whatever you wish to call it, is self-love, true love, the highest love, the true meaning of love. Love in action loves everything as itself. It is love, loving love in and through love. That vast expanse of love is neither sentimental nor fickle. It is impersonal, changeless, and unconditional. True love is non-dual self-love, the limitless, boundless love of the omnipresent infinite that you are. Jai Guru. Now, for some questions. Question. The more I go deeper into the practice, the more time I want to spend alone. But my wife is not keen that I am spending so much time in meditation. She wants more of my attention. I am quickly losing interest in some of the things we used to do together, even stuff we used to talk about. She wants me to watch TV with her every night. And when I do, I can't stop thinking that I'm wasting my time, that I could be meditating instead. Is this a normal occurrence of the practice? I mean, drifting away from one's partner. I don't want to lose her. So, answer. It is a good sign that you wish to spend more time alone to meditate more. Even at this early stage, something is stirring within you spontaneously, and you recognize its importance. You are being driven by your desire to know yourself, to know your reality. It is natural for you to become more detached and less interested in worldly things. Just explain to your wife how important your practice is to you. The wish to spend time alone does not mean you're drifting away from her. It means you're searching for truth. But be moderate. Why not appear as if you're watching TV, but recite the Nam mantra at the same time. Jai Guru. Next one. Question. My husband loves me very much, but he has no interest in spirituality. I would like to share it with him because it is the most important thing in my life, but he thinks it is all nonsense. So I have to do my practice in secret when he's not there. And I said, don't impose spirituality on anyone if they are not interested. If your husband is not interested, then don't try and take him along with you. But pay no attention to what he thinks. Don't listen to his thoughts or opinions about it and just quietly continue with your practice. You're doing it for you. Don't be discouraged. Jai Guru. Now, other questions. Even though I don't perceive myself as a body, I am aware I still have the deepest fear of dying. It keeps me from the complete detachment, which I feel is something necessary to progress. To fight fear, I often do something that frightens me, but it does not seem to work. Recently, I've experienced something that I call show love to the fear. Might this be the solution? And I said, there is no birth and there is no death. You are unborn. The fear is coming from the pseudo-ego, who you think you are, i.e. the mind-body complex. You are not that. In order to liberate from the small self, you need to absorb the knowledge of your true nature and grow in conviction that you were not the body, that you are not the body and never were. Recognize that this life is a long dream and that you are the witness and even beyond the witness. The Nam mantra helps us to dissolve the ego and the illusory layers that have covered over our presence, our reality, that one essence in which we all share. We are not separate beings, but part of the one omnipresent reality. I think you will benefit from reading a very simple presentation of non-duality in the book, Who Am I? It covers the concept of fear, among other obstacles that are in the way of us seeing, realizing our true nature. Jai Guru. Question. How helpful is it to dissolve the fundamental concept, the illusion of being a separate entity? Answer. In answer to your question, not only does it help, but it is absolutely essential. We are already realized, already our true nature, but that is obscured by layers of illusion, by the false I and all its creations. We need to remove everything that is obscuring our true nature. Self-realization means freedom or liberation from the small I, the small self. The small illusory I cannot coexist with ultimate reality, which is what you are. So we need to demolish everything we think we are, all the constructs, the layers, impositions, etc. Jai Guru. Question. Are the teachings of the lineage the same as Advaita Vedanta? The teachings and process of this lineage are the same as Advaita Vedanta. First, we are taught that everything we see is illusion. We need to self-inquire and find out what we are not, using a neti-neti approach. This means dissolving all the concepts and attachments. After that, we are taught that everything is Brahman, reality. Once this knowledge is absorbed, the spontaneous conviction arises. which brings about a shift. And then everything is seen from the perspective of Brahman instead of from that of the former ego mind. Jai Guru. Question. I have diligently followed the guidelines of 2 hours of formal meditation and try my best to recite the Nam mantra outside of meditation sessions. I fall asleep and wake up with the Nam. But I do get very annoyed with the trips down memory lane when the mind takes me to some emotionally charged events from the past and to other mundane stuff. And I said, this process you're undergoing is the purification or clearing out process where everything rises in the mind in a chaotic fashion. So although you may find it annoying, the Nam mantra is doing its job, emptying you of all the illusory concepts, experiences, sense and nonsense, if you like. After this clear out, the mind will be quieter, and therefore a space will open up for your true nature to emerge. Deep insights can also take place simultaneously during meditation, images, teachings, visions, etc. The rare moments will increase, but don't expect or look for them or strongly desire them. Try and remain neutral, just reciting the Nam. Some find the practice in the beginning very monotonous and rather boring. However, we need this hammering, we need this repetition to absorb the truth that we are. I am Brahman, Brahman I am. It has taken us a lifetime to build this pseudo-identity and be conditioned and brainwashed. So now it is time to decondition and brainwash us with truth. So be disciplined and carry on as you are doing. All is well. Jai Guru. Question. Could you clarify, quote, apart from selfless self, there is no Atman, no Brahman, etc. Answer. Many seekers think or believe that Atman, Brahman, or the reality is separate from them. When Maharaj emphasizes that there is nothing except selfless self, he means that you are that selfless self, Atman or Brahman, that nothing exists apart from the reality that you are. Jai Guru. Question. It has been a little over 2 months since Nam initiation, but it seems like I have been with the lineage for eons. Lots going on my end. I spent a wonderful week touring the landscape of the self. I dedicated the entire time to Nam practice. And I said, I'm so pleased to hear about your recent intense practice. What dedication. You have taken to the Nam practice like a duck to water. It is a wonderful journey you are on, and I can tell you are thriving on it like you have been waiting a lifetime for this opportunity to dive deep into the ocean of the self. Jai Guru. Question. I have an issue which has been building for some time. I have lost interest in my work and am drawn to the spiritual life more and more. What I mean is that I would like to just retire early and dedicate all my time to spirituality and the practice. And I said, it is not really my place to comment on your life situation, as it is a worldly issue that is both separate from spirituality and therefore has nothing to do with it. All I would say is don't make any impulsive decisions. Having said that, I understand totally the disinterest in work matters, travel, prestige, etc., that you have felt, which continues to impact you. Your life situation, stated in positive terms, I can relate to wholeheartedly. Nothing is more important in this life than self-realization. And when we are gripped by this fever, which we can sometimes call madness, sometimes everything else pales into insignificance. However, to counter what I have just said, this lineage is a householder lineage. All the masters were able to attend to their practice while attending to their work and family life as well. Jai Guru. And the last question I have here is, what are some signposts to validate or confirm that I am making progress? Signposts would be fewer thoughts, a quieter mind, being less reactive, being more at peace, and experiencing less stress. Jai Guru. Jai Guru. And we'll close there. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jai Guru.